And we live. Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to the first ever episode of Australia Got Tech Talent Show. Thank you so much for finding some time to join us this afternoon. I'm hoping you're enjoying your Thursday lunch. I'm Jana Martins. I'm your show host for today and obviously the executive producer of Australia Got Tech Talent Show. So the event that aimed to give tech professionals opportunity to showcase their human side while talking about complex technical problems. So we all know that the key to standing out in today's competitive tech field is not only about technical expertise, but also qualities like creativity, problem solving, emotional intelligence, and so on. So please make sure to tag and share this video with your colleagues and friends who need to hear this. So please don't forget to introduce yourselves in the comments. As usual, it's always nice if you just say a quick hi. Otherwise we feel like we're talking with the crickets and that's not nice. So make sure to pop your name and hi in the comments so we know that you're here. So we are streaming live today on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And we're going to run this show monthly. So every last Thursday on the month at 12 p.m. Sydney time. So please stay tuned. And if you want to make sure you never miss the next show, join our meetup group to receive the invites for upcoming shows. So please have your questions ready to join our speaker today. But keep in mind, we will be, we also will have the prize, like audience favorite prize at the end of the year. So make sure you have your questions ready and make sure you're ready to vote at the end of John's presentation. I'll give you a bit more hints about the voting at the end, so tell you about the categories. So please ensure that you stay till the end, yes, because it will be not nice if you drop off in the middle of the show. So John definitely won't be happy with this. And before I'll pass it over to John, our today's speaker and contestant, I would like also introduce our judging panel. They will be evaluating the presentation today based on creativity, engagement impact on the audience, and as well as problem solving and critical thinking. So that's probably enough of me. I'm just gonna pass it first to our judging panel to introduce themselves. And we'll start with Andrew, please.
Hi, everybody. So glad you've joined us here in the very, very first episode of Australia's Got Tech Talent. We're really excited for the show. Thank you for being such a wonderful host, Jana, and setting everything up. We're really, really looking forward to giving John a little bit of a roasting and a grilling, but really excited for what he has in store for us. Just a little bit about me. I'm the general manager here at Fastlane. I've done everything in the tech world that can be done except a test manager. Developers make the worst testers. So really excited to hear what John's about to say. And thank you very much for joining us, everybody. It's awesome to see the chats coming in. So keep them flowing, please. Thanks, Jana.
Thank you, Andrew. Jess, please tell us about yourself.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm really very honored to be invited as the first for this Tech Talent Show. I'm really excited to see John's great idea. About myself, I'm a senior project manager in City Water. I'm looking after the delivery of the enterprise data platform. And I have been in the IT industry for 20 years. Actually, I have done all phases, including testing, all phases of software delivery, design, architect, development, testing, and now management. Yeah, I'm very excited to see. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess. And last but not the least, Colin. Colin, your background. I don't know if it's suitable for judging panel, but we'll let you roll with that today.
Kia ora, everyone. Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Colin, CEO and founder of Moroku. We're a fintech based in Sydney, trying to change the world to build a financial services industry that helps people thrive with their money. Had my first fintech a long time ago in the UK. I've worked in every time zone in the world. Grew up as a forestry scientist and then went into data science and then software engineering. Spent most of the last sort of 20 years building digital banking. Delighted to be here, and looking forward to giving John heaps.
Okay, so the judges are ready. As long as John is ready, we just quickly say hi to the people, because I love people who are saying hi, that means that you're here to support us. Nadine is here saying hi. Dermot is here. Great to see you. Luke is here. Thank you guys too saying hi. Saba's here. Joy here. Venkata's here. Rashmi, Dan. Philippa's here, Ben's here. So we have plenty of people joining us, and thank you so much, guys, saying hi in the comments. That means a lot for us. That means, that you supporting our initiative. So if you haven't said hi, please say hi. Follow the nice people. Kevin's here. Thank you, Kevin. So that's probably enough of me. So basically, just to give you a bit of idea, guys. So as I said, we're gonna run the show monthly. And every month, the contestant have 15 minutes for their presentation, so no more than 15 minutes. And then we're going to evaluate it by the same criteria each time. So, and then we can pick our annual winner of 2023 Australia's Got Talent show. So, I don't want to take too much time. Evan's here, Mateo's here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sanjay. Beautiful. So we have a massive audience, John. So all eyes on you. So I'm just going to pass it on to you just to uninterruptedly, that's not the word, how it is, uninterruptedly run your presentation, please.
Awesome. Thank you. And it's a word now. So let's just make that happen. So I'll quickly just kick right into it. First and foremost, thank you again for the invite and organization of the whole event, Yana, Dan, Fastlane, and our judges, Carl, Jessica, Andrew. I actually do look forward to your judgments and criticisms. I mean, really go brutal on me, would you? So I thought I might start off a little bit with an intro to myself and give everybody a sense of who I am. And I guess it's a bit of a similarity with some of the judges here. I thought I'd talk a little bit about my history, my earliest years, and I wrote something for this and actually read it out, and I thought to myself, wow, it's like really, really boring. So I thought I might actually explain my early years as a dev, maybe working with some of the kind of early tools I used and how I kind of was a solo freelancer and self-taught and how I upskilled, but that was also boring. So I thought I'm going to avoid all that and just talk about today, forget the origin stories of Joker and get to Batman. So today I am a consultant. And I do a lot of things in a lot of different areas. I mean, much like you all, I've worked in many different areas, and I actually find it really difficult to place myself and give myself a title sometimes. If I had to narrow it down which box over here you're looking at, where I operate, it's kind of all the above. So I'll make it a little bit easier. I started off as a programmer, but that's kind of dated and showing my age a little bit, and no one says that anymore. So I am a back-end and front-end developer. Too generic, which backend is that cloud? Okay, look, I'm a full stack developer and I'm a cloud engineer. Cool, we're getting somewhere here. So I do a lot of web development and responsive mobile development. And on that note, I guess I'm also a mobile developer. And I love cybersecurity. I've actually worked in a cyber startup. I grew up on William Gibson cyberspace novels, and I consider myself a bit of a cybersecurity advisor. And I love to automate. I like making my life easier. So I do a lot of DevOps style work even included in there. And I'm also a game developer. Actually, this is when I'm not doing my 9 to 5. I'm actually a hobbyist game developer. I'm going to touch on this a little bit later. So you can see that I've kind of diversified. I'm across all these different areas. Where do I place myself? You know what? I'm going to make it easy and just say I'm over titles. I'm a programmer, and I can get things done because I just love tech. So that's me. And let's just quickly talk about Australia's Got Tech Talent, because if you ever did watch that show, full disclosure, I actually hadn't, but I looked up some YouTube clips when I got asked to do this, and there's a lot of good talent on there. And I realized really quickly that I cannot sing and act, and even if I could, nobody wants to hear or see it. So I'm going to talk more about just some of the stuff I do in the tech world, tell you how I approach things, learnings, growth, what motivates me. And when I'm done with all this, my goal is to inspire and to make you reflect and think about yourself. So I'm going to start by defining tech talent by consulting a really reputable source. And I asked ChatGPT, and I said, can you tell me real quick what tech talent is? And it gave me this response. And my first response and reaction was, that is way too long, ChatGPT. Can you make it better and make it like 15 words? And it did. And it's not too bad, the definition it gave, the key part of that being individuals with technical skills in different areas, a variety of different forms, right? Now, look, I'm going to add to this and say that talent is also subjective to an individual and their point of view, and everybody can decide for themselves what talent is. So on that, if you ask me personally, and thinking about the plethora of job titles we saw earlier, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily talented. I'm actually a multi-skilled person in tech, which could be considered talented. Again, depending on the definition. So now we're up to speed. Let me tell you about an approach that I took when asked to do this segment. I was on LinkedIn actually, and I started to see some of the promotions Yana had put together, and I decided to get some profile views. And I remembered there was a link on my profile to my website, and that's what it looked like. And I thought, well, if people visit this and they see this tech talent ad, and then they look at this, they're going to go, for real? That's it? I mean, if there's any talent to be showcased, it's got to be in there somewhere, right? Now, look, much like many personal projects, I tend to neglect some of my own sometimes. I can admit that. And this was one of them. So for the sake of this, I actually decided to spruce it up a little bit. And I actually got a good story out of it, which might actually explain how I even operate. So this is a new website. And full disclaimer, I haven't been able to get a photo done. So if it looks like I'm promoting personal trainer services, that's just funny. But if I was approaching this for a client, I'd probably approach it a little bit differently. I'd get into some strategic thinking. I'll do my research, ask the client what they want, the themes, the colors for their brand, target market, content, design sessions, wireframes, prototyping, what tech do we use, design pattern, scalability, developer friendliness, blah, blah, and don't forget about the blah. All very important. We all know that story. But when I work on my own projects, actually none of that matters to me. All that matters is the result. And I will do the minimum prep work and I'll improvise all the way. To be honest, all I really care about is the result. And when I built this, I had no design. I just had a vague idea of what I wanted. I wanted a cool intro. I wanted some text that fades and zooms in. I wanted a full screen hero shot. I wanted to put some blog articles up in some projects. Awesome. So when I built it, I used something called Next.js. I've used plenty of React, never Next. This was actually my first. Was it the best tool? Not necessarily. I even had some GraphQL in the background because I was reading some markdown files from the system, the file system, and I statically generated everything. Did I need to do it this way? No, I could have actually avoided all that and made it easy just by reading files. So why all the extra effort? Why did I do all this? 1, because I felt like it. 2, because it would be fun. And 3, because by doing this, I'd learn Next.js and get more miles on me with GraphQL. And actually on my websites, my previous websites that I built were done with different frameworks, Gatsby, SvelteKit being the most recent 2 before this one, because I wanted to give it a try and upskill. This is actually the secret to how I learn, how I upskill, and how I get all the exposure I get. I'll do it on my own first, for myself first. So for anybody watching, just some quick little side advice, because I do hear a lot of people trying to seek like commercial on-the-job experience when they're in the workplace. Let my approach this sink in for a second, and maybe start thinking about what else you could also do on the side there, because you may not necessarily get everything you need out of your full-time job. But I digress. We'll touch on that a little bit later. So whilst there's more apps, websites, and other tools I've built in my professional career, I can't really showcase them for a variety of reasons. But I'm going to talk about some of the hobbies that I have, maybe, because it's not all just web dev. As I mentioned, I'm a game developer too. Here's 2 mobile games that I've actually put together on the stores at the moment. I built them in Unity, really popular game development platform. It's also used for VR and AR. And when they got released, they went viral with my close circle of friends. But they were close, they had fun. They were fun to play. I got some good responses. I put the graphics together using assets I purchased and things I customized and just made it all kind of work together. I came with some random names. As an example, Squirrel was a name I got because I was watching that Disney movie Up and kept having this recurring squirrel joke. And I made that my project title, never changed it. That's how much titles really mean to me. And same thing for Spaceways. It was in space and you had to go find your way to the exit. Really creative there. But the levels, I designed them all myself and I built them manually and I tested them. And I actually have plans to add more levels in the future, but I want to maybe look to ways to auto-generate them rather than doing all this manual work. And I have attempted that already. But on that note, I mentioned earlier about how I learn and upskill, I have a vision to maybe learn some AI and ML by hooking it up to an emulator and letting AI figure out how to play my game. just because it'll be cool to watch. And I've dabbled in AI services and tech like that, just never at an intimate level. So I thought that would be a cool little project for me one day. A lot of what I do, funnily enough, in spite of being game development, does actually help me in my career as well. I mean, by doing these two apps, for example, I got a lot of exposure and intimate knowledge to how App Store release processes work with Google Play and App Store, Apple, and everything else. So everything I do on the side does also contribute to my day-to-day life and my career. Now, here's a quick little peek into a few other projects I have in development, and it's not a complete list. I'm working on a game right now, having it showcased here, for example. But I target everything: PC, Mac, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile, VR devices, the Oculus headsets, you name it. I'm going to have a decent attempt at it. And if you're probably wondering, well, in your spare time, how do you actually manage all these projects? I mean, where do you find the time? I kind of build them incrementally, bit by bit, whenever the time kind of feels right. So my Space Race game I mentioned earlier, I actually built that in about 2 weekends after I released my first game. And then I shelved it because it wasn't the right time to work on it. I returned to it 10 months later and finished it off, and I released it. That's how I operate. My projects don't have deadlines. I never stress over anything. I'll pivot when I'm stuck, or I have creative writer's block, or another priority to focus on, whatever the reason. But I make good habits out of always contributing to my projects and building them bit by bit, rather than never building anything at all and getting nowhere. So I'll make special mention of this one. I once took some time off work. My long script for like 4 months, and I started this from scratch. It came from this picture I drew on the left. I was just learning how to do some vector-based drawing, and I thought, looks cool. A couple of years later, I find the picture again, and I thought, that would be cool to have in kind of like a cartoon kind of form. So I started working on this adventure game in Unity once again, inspired by old school Lucasfilm, LucasArts, Sierra games in the day. And I started putting it together and learning how to animate. And then I got a job, and of course I had to shelve it because I lost all my full time to work on it at that capacity. But I've had a lot of fun doing this, and it's just an example of how I just kind of learned and upskill by even learning animation tools to achieve the right result when I need to achieve it. AI is out, by the way, and it makes things easier, so I might return to that game real soon. There's some cool tools out there. Now, I thought I'd share with you another story about a different kind of problem and my approach to how I had to solve it back in the day. Now, look, I've always been an ambassador for web development in my professional career because I love browsers. I love working in one kind of platform, and it's available everywhere, write once, deploy. I love all the things about it. So I was writing this software once upon a time to support a hair salon, to manage appointment booking, things like that. And they were using this window-based software, which they came to me and said, we want to start franchising and offering a solution out to everybody and have better reporting, governance features, and things like this. Can you build it? And my first response, yeah, of course, I'm going to go build it, and I'm going to make it a web app, because why not? So I built it. It met all the requirements. It was being used. Everything was going great. It was so great. The owner said, hey, everyone loves this app. Can you also hook up a cash drawer to it so that when somebody on the app hits a button, it goes ping and opens up this cash drawer? And I looked at the client and I said, well, look, the web doesn't work that way. You know, this is 2010. These things, they don't interface with peripheral devices. I got a confused look from the client because to the client, they've seen this done before many times in Windows software. They all just work. What's the problem here? And I wasn't going to go down without a fight, of course. I'm going to give this a good try. Added bonus, whatever solution I put in had to just work out of the box with like little tech knowledge, because the nationwide franchisees also want to hook up their registers with a parallel port, old school one, and it just had to work. So whatever I did had to just happen. Now this was back, again, 2010. The web was kind of a teenager back then, and there was a bunch of cringeworthy tech, I'll call it, back then. You know, things like Flash and Shockwave and Silverlight. You know, we all remember those days, I think. So my solution that I implemented back then actually wouldn't work today. But I realized that given the register was only operating when a certain signal was sent, I found a way to achieve that in Java. And there was a thing back then with Java applets that was filling the gap where the browser wouldn't really necessarily have all the features that it has today, and a lot of applets were being built. And I figured if I could make a silent Java applet that would run when the button was clicked, that would open the cache register, would that work with Java? Tried it out, and lo and behold, the register worked. Ching, I achieved it. Okay, I can still justify to the client that the web was the right choice. That was a rough one. Before I close off, I was browsing around just randomly, and I found this quote from Steve Jobs that I had to fact check just to be sure it was right. And when I was preparing for this, I thought that's relevant. Great things are never done by one person, done by a team. But when we're talking about talent and an individual and skills, you might want to rethink that. So I don't disagree with this in business. I mean, that makes so much sense. But when I grow and learn a new skill, I do it on my own first, and I spend time perfecting it. And when it's not business, it's pleasure. And so I love what I do. So I'm going to give a different recommendation. And I'm going to say, always have a personal project, a hobby, or something you do for yourself. Because no matter what the outcome is, you're still likely to improve yourself. And if it does become something greater, that's awesome. So, by the way, it's sort of legit now because I put those little quote marks on the top left. That's a real quote now. Just don't quote me on it. But I do want to wrap up here by saying, look, I genuinely hope after seeing all this and hearing what I have to say that you are now actually thinking about how you spend your own spare time too. Look, you can have your life, your family, your commitments, and everybody's circumstance will always be different, but you want to believe what good habits can do. An hour or even 30 minutes a day, doing something strictly for yourself. Pick up that thing you keep delaying, for example, and starting it already. I mean, you've been saying you'll get around to it for too long now, right? It's longer with you. And for those people who are doing that, well, good for you and keep doing it because I'd love to hear about it one day. In fact, one of my favorite pastimes is actually when I catch up with colleagues and we share pet projects in person because it's fun. I love hearing about what they create. We share our positive kind of energies and results together. We're all passionate about what we do, and it really reflects on how we talk to each other. And we don't work asking ourselves when we're going to kind of succeed. To me, doing it and actually contributing and actually making something happen, that in its own right is the success. Everything else that happens is a very welcome bonus. And I hope that I can have more catch-ups with people like that because you might find it actually more entertaining than streaming media and more social than social media. And with that, I'd like to thank you because I've hit my limit here, and I'm going to hand over to the judges and let them really tear apart my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, John. That was great. That was like a lot of information in 15 minutes. I'm sure people who are going to watch replay are not going to watch it on like a double speed because it will be pretty hard to consume the information. So maybe some people put like, you can, I think it's a setting you can watch the video slower. So I'm going to rewatch it on a slower speed. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, John. So now it's obviously time to vote. So everyone who's listening to us, you have a chance to vote as well. And obviously, if you have any questions or comments to John, please put it in the comments as well. We actually, if you have some comments and questions that we won't have a chance to answer live today, because we have quite a limited time, we're always happy to take it offline as well. So yeah, John, great comments from here. The best way to learn is to do. Steve Jobs would have phone called you if he heard your quote, mate. So good presentation. So great feedback, guys. So now I explain you how to vote. So it's the first time, so I need to actually explain you how to vote. So our judges gonna vote last, so they have a time to think. So basically, we're going to vote today by 3 different categories. Yeah, the scoring system is 1 to 5. Yeah, so 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. You are more than welcome. Put your comments in the comments. Yeah, great. So the first category is creativity. Is this presentation unique? Is it showcasing innovative ideas? Did this presentation make you think about something you haven't thought before? So 1 till 5 for this. Yeah. The second category, engagement and audience impact. Was this presentation captivating? Do you feel like keep listening? Do you feel like you've been engaged during the John's presentation? Was it funny? Did John use some storytelling and humor? So that's category number 2. And category number 3. I wasn't saying it will be easy to vote, yes? You need to listen to vote. And category number 3 is problem solving and critical thinking. Did the problem get solved? Did John have the ability to, effectively communicate his idea and solution to the problem? Was the presentation logical? So yeah, you need to put 3 numbers in the comments: creativity, engagement, and audience impact, and problem solving. So yeah, start voting. Here you go. So people start popping in. So while people voting, we'll basically go to our guys. Maybe I need to put it somewhere, on the screen, the categories for you to remember. But anyway, so creativity, engagement, problem solving. So judges, who would like to go first? Or maybe I won't give you a chance to choose. Maybe I'll choose who's gonna go first. Colin's gonna go first.
All right. Good stuff, John. Let's get into it, mate. Creativity and originality. Look, just bag loads of it. I don't think anyone will, argue there. Love the energy. Love the storytelling. Loved all of the animations. Loved all of that stuff, mate. And you got us out of the get go. There was no, sitting here, checking out social media while you're talking, mate. So I thought that was, bang on the money. I think, so that was really good. I started to get lost though, and this is where it started to fall apart from me a little bit. Is I heard lots about you, and I heard lots about your personal journey, and I heard lots about how you kind of love tinkering with stuff. But I was like, I haven't learned anything. So I'm like, well, so that's all really good. I've learned a little bit about John, but I learned nothing about a software problem. I've learned nothing about a maths problem. I've learned nothing about an engineering problem. I've learned nothing about a process problem. So whilst the creativity and the originality came bolting through, I'm like, I haven't learned anything. I've just learned about John. So it sort of started to fall apart a little bit there on creativity and originality. I'll give you a 3. Engagement and impact, 5. Right, there's no doubt about it, mate. You're an infectious personality. You're exactly the type of guy I like in my team, to kind of, keep everyone on the pump. Presentation style was good. I was there the whole time. And as I said, you used tons of good humor and chat and storytelling. So 5 out of 5. But then, when it came to problem solving, I didn't actually know, so what were you trying to solve other than your personal journey? So I didn't know what the problem was. Because I didn't know what the problem was, I didn't know that it had been solved. And because I didn't know what the problem was, I didn't know what the solution was either. So
the cash register was the problem, Colin. The cash register that didn't open. That was the problem.
Yeah, I got lost. So so there you go. So I didn't get it. So there was
maybe we need to watch the presentation as a double slow speeds, to get through problems. Okay, thank you, Colin. Great feedback. So we got your score on the screen. So let's go with the next one. Other judges is too nice. I think, guys, do you want to change your mind? No. Jess, we need to unmute you. Here we go. Jess, what's your score?
All right. John, I love your presentation. It's really good. In terms of engaging, it's really engaging. I like the animation, and the storytelling is humorous. Is great. I have the same problem as well. I am a little bit lost in the problem, and I know that you have stated problems, but I think you probably have stated too many of them. Probably, yes. I understand the problem, but I think it would be better if you could focus one problem than a lot. And I also think in terms of the leading to the story, you have, it's great to know your background, but I think you probably spend too much time talking about yourself. So, and another thing is when we move around the screen, I feel there are a lot of animations, maybe the animation itself as well. I feel a bit dizzy following the screen. So I should slow down. But in terms of the idea, it is very original. I like the enthusiasm, the passion I can see. So even though I didn't score you very high in the problem stating, I actually scored you high in the problem solution, solving, because I can sense from your presentation you have solved your problem. even though sometimes the problem I didn't quite understand what was the problem. Yeah. Cool.
Perfect. I think like probably one of the problems that John was actually trying to solve, it's like trying to define who he is in the tech world. So, but I think that was like a massive problem. Maybe that's, it's my guess about problem solving. So, but that's a problem probably that's too hard to solve. Andrew, how did you go?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a different take on it, but I'll lead to that in a minute. So first of all, I found the presentation in the beginning really boring, black and white. I was like, come on, it's got to get a bit better than this, seriously. And I love the way you built up into the presentation. And, you started from very plain, boring, vanilla with a whole bunch of animation. But I did kind of feel you overdid the animation a little bit, and I was trying to dig into that. What is the problem you're trying to solve here? And I was a bit like Colin. I was a bit lost, right? So for creativity and originality, I scored you a 3, not too high there. For engagement and audience impact, I scored you a 4. I thought you were really engaging. Your humor came through, your storytelling came through. I really got the sense that, you can engage an audience and keep them engaged and entertained while you're talking. As I said in the beginning, I was sort of like, should I get onto social media? But then as your new slides came up, it started getting more exciting, and I'm like, okay, where are we getting to the meat of it? Now we've got the problem with the problem solving, right? I was kind of with Jess and Colin in the beginning there, like, okay, tell me about a problem other than John. And then you got into that hairdressing one, and I scored you 4 on that. And the only reason I scored you 4 is it's a little bit self-serving, because I actually had a very, very similar problem to this, where you're trying to drive a device from a web page and it didn't exist. So I thought you did state the problem really well, but maybe because I understood it, you did solve the problem, and I think you solved it quite elegantly. And I was able to easily understand the problem as well. So, but that's maybe just the techie in me coming in. But overall, on the whole, a good presentation. But I do feel if it's sort of like the less techie people in the room, you maybe want to slow down a bit on that problem solving and really tell a story around that a bit.
Perfect. I love how comments is quite different. Everyone like pick up on the different things. We have a lot of comments coming through the audience as well. It's a really nice comment from Felipe also. Awesome, John. I have many packed projects. I should probably do more of that and less Netflix. You inspire someone today, John. So we can't wait for Felipe's side projects now. So quite a high score, like 554, 555, 545. You get all the 5s from the audience, John. So, it may be because I instruct judges to be a bit more harsh. So
didn't need any encouragement. Yeah.
But the audience just, absolutely like killing it, 545. So a lot of high scores. Interesting how experts and audience have different opinions as well, and all the judges have different opinions. So that's why that's the entertaining part, to see how different people actually perceive different presentations as well. So guys, I'm trying not to go too much over time. So obviously, if you have any questions, any more comments, you're more than welcome to pop it in the comments. If you have questions to judges as well, we can, as I said, we can always take it offline. But before, and we're going to calculate all the scores that you put in the comments as well. So that's why it's important to vote in the comments, because, it contributes to our prize at the end of the year. So, but also, John, we have a little surprise for you as well. We all know that it always, take an extra courage to be the first contestant, especially with tough, such a tough judging panel, and high level of uncertainty. So as I said, yes, we have an annual prize for winner of 2023 Australia Got Tech Talent. But at the moment, we wanted just to say thank you to John for participating and being the pioneer of the show. And you didn't know what to expect. You couldn't watch the replays from the previous show, so you wouldn't know how the show will go. So that's why we just wanna, from the Fastlane team, to give you just a little thank you present, and we'll send you a little nice gift card, so you can go to restaurant, maybe not tonight, but and celebrate with someone special, celebrate your participation in Australia Got Tech Talent. You're welcome to invite all the Fastlane team as well, but but it's a present for you, John. So I'll send it. Are you muted? Are you unmuted?
I am muted. No, much appreciated. Thank you. And as you said, it's hard to know what exactly to speak about in the first one and how to articulate. And yes, you're right. I am reputable for talking way too fast sometimes, and that really shone through this time around too. So thank you for actually staying in tune for as long as you can. That is credit to you. And thank you again for having me. I've actually had a lot of fun on this. Full disclaimer, I had no problem to solve other than just having some fun and talking about some cool stuff. My problem was to inspire the audience, and I hope I've achieved that. I at least got through Felipe, so that's one bonus to me. So thank you again.
Thank you, John.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I think we need to add another scoring category, Jana, is did it inspire the audience to action? Because I think looking at the comments, John certainly did that. So good job, John. And always difficult on the first one. Thank you to everybody in the audience who attended. Thank you to everybody who's listening online and in the future as well. And please join us for the next one. Thank you, Jana, for setting up such a great show. Really well done.
And talking about sorry, Colin. Yeah, Colin, you go.
Yeah, no, well done. And yeah, John, just just listening to all of that, if you'd laid that problem up, they say the thing with speaking is tell them what you're going to tell them what you told them, right? So do that up front, lay it up, set it up, then do your thing, and then close it off, and you would have knocked it out of the park. So that was just it. Really enjoyed myself as well, and nice being online with everyone. So well done.
Nagara saying, John, feel free to invite your buddies at Servant as well. Sounds like John taking us all to the restaurant soon. And guys, on the point of the next show, so next show will be on the 27th of April. So as I promised, it's last Thursday of each month. So it will be 27th of April at 12 p.m. as well. And our next speaker / contestant will be Dermot Betterfield. So now he obviously watched this episode. He will be he'll have more insights and how it's run and how it's judged. So we have the little we'll have a little advantage there. But we as I said, it's always hard to go first. But John, I think it's been a great presentation, and I think we all learned something. And obviously, guys, I encourage all of you like this video. Nagarash saying thanks for arranging the session. Good to meet you. Great show. Thank you, guys. So if you enjoy today's session, of course, like this video. Because if you're liking this video, we would like to keep going. So it takes 2 seconds to like this video, and it actually burns your calorie. So do that. Do this movement with your hand to like this video, and make sure to share it with your colleagues and friends who need to hear this. Also, you can head to our website, Australia Got Tech Talent new website, and apply to be a next speaker or contestant as well. There's a form you can fill, and everyone welcome to join. Now you know the format. Now you know the scoring. Now it's more encouraging to participate, so that you can participate in the next show, and maybe you will be our winner of 2023. Also, usual stuff, subscribe to our YouTube channel, make sure you get notified about upcoming events, join our meetup group, and all of these exciting things that help us to keep going. So that's basically enough of me talking. Anyone else want to say some closing word before we stop?
Just thank you to everybody for listening. Really appreciate it. Dermot, don't worry. Now you've seen what's coming. At least the initial nerves are out of the way, mate.
Exactly. And we're going to have new judges as well. So guys, to make it even harder, it will be different judges every time. So that, Dermot, so you can't really predict who's going to say what. So anyway, thank you so much again. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the 27th of April at 12 p.m. If you have any comments, suggestions about how we can improve, run it differently, improve the scoring system, anything, you can always contact me on LinkedIn, Jana Martins, or contact us on our Fastlane Solution page. Anyway, thank you, guys. Thank you, John. Thank you, Jess, Andrew, and Colin for a great day, and see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Ciao.
Thank you, everybody.